to see me there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When?
Meet me at the dance.
Hello and welcome back once again, everybody, to another game here at the Overwatch Watchers Brawl. Today, we're going to be watching match 8, and we just got done off the back of match 7 in the main bracket. But right now, we're about to see MetaMorphic go up against Team Perfection once again in the casting booth. Have me, Sir Waltham, and Man of Class. Man, how you feeling today?
I'm feeling great today. I mean, we just got off of a pretty long break. We didn't have that long of a series beforehand, but that's not a surprise. Mrs. Boundless just popping off, and sometimes that's just what happens. But MetaMorphic versus Perfection, I'm looking forward to it. It's looking to be a good one, and I'm interested to see what these teams can bring us.
Yeah, I think they're going to be looking to bring it all to the table here. But before we can go ahead and get started with our first map on Eichenwald, we're going to have our pre-game interview. It's going to be the owner of Team Perfection, if I'm not mistaken. It's going to be OWB6. How you feeling today, my friend?
I'm feeling great. So what were you planning on asking me? Because I don't know.
Well, you know, we're just going to grill you. We're going to run you over some basic calculus. And then after that, we're going to see if you know your bovine biology. I'm just kidding. We're going to ask you stuff about Overwatch. So you're the owner for your team. What does that involve for Team Perfection? Because I talk about it all the time. Different owners and coaches and staff have different roles. How do you fit into the picture?
So personally, on my team, I have a graphic designer, a coach, and a manager. My manager helps me find players and stuff. Like if we need to find tryouts and stuff, she helps me find that, and she finds our scrims as well. And if they cancel early, I help find that. She also helps find ringers. Our graphic designer only designs graphics, but he's good at it, so we'll be fun with him. We like him. And our coach, he has stuff while we scrim, but he's really good at coaching, and so what he does whenever he coaches is just he's a VOD review coach only after scrims. But what I do is just any in-between ground that they can't do something, I just fill in for them, and I help make sure we come to every scrim and stuff and keep our team on track.
All right, sounds like a jack of all trades kind of situation going on in there a little bit. But I mean, sometimes you just need somebody to be that clay that fills in all the cracks. So well done. I applaud it. That being said, I'm gonna move into the actual match moving forward. How's your team feeling? How's Perfection feeling moving towards going against MetaMorphic today?
We're ready. We've had a bit of trouble getting scrims recently. Like just these past 2 days been a struggle, in other words, to get scrims going. We've gotten them, but they're kind of yikes, not gonna lie. But we're ready. We think we'll do good.
Fantastic. I hope to see it on the field. Have you guys done any research towards MetaMorphic, or are you kind of going into this just a little?
We've done a bit. We haven't extensively researched them,
Right.
but we've looked over.
It's very good. I think that that's something that a lot of teams kind of can tend to overlook or not necessarily consider fully moving forward. So a definite hat tip to you for being that proactive with it. Now, Man of Class, did you have any more questions before I close up?
I never do. You know that. I'm not the person that talks ever.
Okay. Well, I'll just close with this. I'll go. Now, you guys went 3-1, if I'm not mistaken, against your last opponents there. That was Mean Green, I believe. Yes. Did you guys kind of get a little bit rattled by that, or did it show you any areas in which you really kind of needed to lock it down on?
That match was really the match that our team just clicked, and like we haven't been doing well as the matches before that, but as soon as it got in there, our adrenaline pumped in. We all just, made the huge plays and won the game. And it did show us some flaws that we had, like with positioning and bubble management and stuff like that. But I think it definitely helped, and we'll improve off of it.
Fantastic. I hope to see that improvement in this game moving forward right here. And I guess we'll be just about done, Uggo, but do you have any last words, any shout outs, any BMs, anything like that? Just keep it safe for work.
I have one thing to say. I hate Widow.
That's a very fair point. That's probably the most seen chat comment we have here in the Watchers Brawl in the game chat. So can definitely relate to that. But Uggo, thank you for stopping by, answering a few questions, my friend. But definitely good luck out there. Hope your team does well. We look forward to seeing some great Overwatch out of you guys.
Okay, and good luck casting.
Thank you
Thank you very much.
Okay, see ya.
Now, Man of Class, we're once again going to be heading on to Eichenwald. If I'm not mistaken, we started there last time.
We did start there
2
last
hours
time.
ago.
Yeah, we did start there 2 hours ago. We're going to be starting there again. Eichenwald, it's the map where anything can happen right now, at least competition-wise. Haven't seen that much bunker-style competitions here yet because, I mean, it can be good, but in a lot of ways, there's just too much cover for teams to they're attacking. So the bunker doesn't get as much value as you normally can on other points where there's a little less cover. So I'm guessing that that's not something we're going to be seeing, but DPS competitions as well as variants of 3-3, 3-2-1, definitely something we can be seeing here.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely gonna have to be looking forward to that. Kind of just the randomness that can come out. I always love the unexpectedness.
Yeah, definitely that.
not quite sure what we're going to be running out with just yet. I believe I saw a Doomfist and a Hammond earlier. We're going to be getting some things cleared up. It looks like some of the bans from a last game are still in effect.
I mean, I guess that happens when you don't like make a new lobby, right? I mean, it's just,
Right.
it does not matter, but that's okay. No, that's what happens. It's not a big problem. We're just going to be seeing Sombra being played. And who knows, maybe they're not even gonna play her, but it's a principle at that point. You want to give everyone the opportunity to play it because there's nothing banned yet in the first map. We don't get into that yet.
Yeah, not really a whole lot of. I like to consider it mind games. I mean, obviously, it comes down to a lot more than just outthinking your opponent. You actually have to outperform them as well. But
I'd say the mind games are the most valuable thing about it because honestly, I mean, just if you just ban out as a competition style with one hero, that's one thing. But if you're pretending to ban something out and then don't actually ban it out and then you run it yourself, that's even better.
yeah, there's definitely a lot of trickery that can happen, a lot of crafty think that can occur. But now we're going to be seeing the teams come out, and out of the gate for the defending team looks like a triple.
Check this out.
It does look like it. Once again, though, something we have been seeing increase is this Ana pick. We've heard a little bit from Suppose in the last game, and he said, yeah, Zen is generally speaking better, but Ana is more versatile in what she can be run against. She can still work against a 3-3 offense, but she can also work against DPS a lot better than Zen can usually. So when you're expecting potential DPS to come out, or you're expecting anything you can basically expect to come out, Ana's usually better, so that's why she's run a lot on these defenses. But on the attack, they're just going to run out with the Zenyatta goats, so it's going to be an interesting matchup here.
Yeah, it certainly will. The Zen versus the Ana goats here. And right now, both teams just kind of going a little bit back and forth. We're going to be seeing Ugo get very aggressive with this Reinhardt pushing right up on the side of the tower. Both bubbles going onto the Reinhardt. Zarya has no more projected to save the Reinhardts from damage. The Discord going to be going on to Mark E. Mark, meaning that they will be taking an increased amount of damage. And right now, not a lot of kills quite going through either way. Marky Mark getting stunned, not quite getting brought down dangerously low, though. Poseidon going to be taking out Ugo Duggo in that situation. That is crucial. And then following it up with a kill onto Nick. That is going to be probably the death knell for Perfection here, as they're going to be pulling back just a little bit.
Yeah, all due to that beautiful anti-native potion. Had that anti-native not landed, that fight would have gone potentially in a different way because Marky Mark was getting very low. But the anti-native just really sealed it up, just allowed for them to stop their sustain and just, smack back into them because that's what the anti-native does.
Yeah, now we're going to be seeing
another one.
Yeah, we're seeing another anti-native come through. PG wanting to get burned down rather quickly. I'd be surprised if they kill this baby D, but they might just leave her to struggle a little bit. Gato's going to be cleaning up as we see the defense push really aggressively into the spawn. Mixie going to be getting the kill, and it looks like with that, the defense is going to be pulling back now that they have that late stagger.
Yeah, and it's really the power of the anti-nade because it's all about that one. If that anti-nade's not there, these attacks and these defenses go so differently. And with D.Va getting a little less powerful with the next patch as well, it's going to be harder and harder to do anything against it. You need to be able to shield them somehow, and they're just not able to do that.
Yeah, it does not quite seem to be working. The grab coming out, however, from Poseidon. The response trance from Mixie, however, will not protect Magic Mate Ball as he gets pinned by Marky Mark. The Earth Shatter coming out, not going to be landing anything. Ugo Duggo might be wanting that one back a little bit later. The sound barrier coming out from Noctis going to be keeping their entire team shielded. But really, PG1 getting focused down, popping that D.Va bomb just to try to get back into the mech a little bit faster. Marky Mark taking down that D.Va, and Ugo on that Rhine. Then using the Earth Shatter to close down on the team just a little bit more. And it's looking like me, Big Brain, going to be the last kill of this push.
It might still be Mixie. No, Mixie gets out safe. That's fine. There's a Brigade there. Give him the extra armor pack if needed. So we'll now see the other side attack. Now they'll have their Graviton. There's no defensive ultimates on the other side. JD might be hanging on to this self-destruct for that reason. Just throwing out the self-destruct as soon as they get grabbed, just to zone them out from getting follow-up on that. But we'll see what happens here, because that's a possibility, and there's a lot of defensive ultimates up for the attack.
Yeah, absolutely. An early fire strike coming out from Marky. Going to be building up a little bit of ult charge, but we're going to be seeing the sound barrier come out this time for the offensive side. Going to be getting 4 no kills, getting out of the back of it. JD getting the eat onto me, Big Brain's grab. The grab return from Poseidon, going to be netting 2 or 3. Then the Earth Shatter followed up from the side of Marky Mark. Marky Mark going to be absolutely cleaning up for their team. And once again, we're seeing PG1 on that D.Va be the last one to fall. That is brutal.
And it's just very nicely recognized. I mean, they already use a sound barrier, and then Poseidon sees, oh, they already use a trance? Well, then I'll just use my Graviton, because they have no defensive ultimates left. So it's just good recognition of that win condition. So very well done by Poseidon. And good follow-up as well. I mean, another beautiful anti-nade from Potion. And there just hasn't really been any strong move being made here yet from the other side.
Yeah, not quite. But the Earth Shatter coming out, landing onto Noctis and JD might be the turn they needed. Not quite going to be capitalized upon. The rally coming out from Nick might give the armor that the offensive team needs here. But Gato's getting the whip shot onto Nick. Going to be throwing them off the map with that. The D.Va bomb coming out from PG1. Not going to be netting anything quite yet. Ugo Duggo getting shield bash just drilled into by that laser beam from Poseidon. And it's going to be Marky Mark cleaning up that kill. PG1 getting anti-nated and just trying to do a little bit of damage, trying to perhaps jostle the defending team here, but it doesn't look like it's going to work as PG1 gets ejected. Going to be seeing an Earth Shatter come out from the side of Marky Mark. Doesn't look like it's going to net a whole lot, but it's not going to be needed, as we're going to be seeing MetaMorphic have a full hold here.
Earlier today, we saw not quite a full hold, but a 94 point something % hold. A full hold is again, it's pretty rare on Eichenwald. It doesn't happen that often. Usually when it happens, it means that one team that got the full hold is a little bit overbearing over the other one. Not saying that that's necessarily the case here. I mean, we might just see a little bit of a warm-up round here,
Right,
from the side of Perfection. But yeah, they're not looking that strong currently. It's mostly that MetaMorphic is doing very well. I mean, that Ana pick especially looking very, very strong, and it might just be that Perfection hasn't really been playing against Anas a lot of the scrims. I mean, from what we've been seeing from high tier metas, a lot of the time it's all just been Zenyatta goats. Now that we see this Ana coming back in, that might throw certain teams for a loop a little bit more than others, and it's looking to do that a little bit for Perfection. But who knows? Maybe they've got a great plan for their own defense, and they can actually overpower this.
Yeah, it's certainly going to have to be a very dominant hold if they want to get points on that. Prevent the points from getting onto that board, but it looks like it's just going to be again the 3-3.
It's the same. I mean, they could just be running this composition all night long, just striving for perfection. I mean, that is their team name after all.
Right.
But at some point they might want to try something else when they come into trouble with Ana, and the hero picks and bans could not play favorites with certain compositions, obviously. So. I mean, it's still a play for. We could still get a draw on Eichenwald, which is very much possible. We saw it happen on Hollywood last week. Actually, yesterday. Sorry. But they're gonna run into this same. This is gonna be a mirror here. So, not that Ana, so they don't have to be worried about the anti-nade as much, but they will have to be worried a little bit about some other things.
Yeah, Marky Mark getting that bubble, already going to have it burned down. Nick getting brought dangerously low too. That Brig might want to be a little bit careful here. Potion as well as Marky Mark a little separated from the rest of the offensive team. Potion going to be partially collapsed on it, fully collapsed on as Mixie takes the kill from it. And now we're seeing Agadogo try to follow up on the tail end of the attacking team here. Going to be getting onto point to contest, and they cannot let up. There is almost no space for them to give up onto the point, but with Marky Mark dropping, it looks like that's not going to be a problem, as the kills are going to go all in favor of Team Perfection, and they're not going to give up that tick.
No, they're not going to give up anything, which is exactly what they need to do. First minute gone. And at this rate, they only need to win 3 more fights. So it's not that many, actually. You would feel that, oh, the fights are lasting a bit long, but that's kind of what you want as long as you're winning them.
Yeah, absolutely. It seems like the defense is going to be trying to go for these longer holds. We're going to be seeing both Reinhardts have their Earth Shatters come online. Keep an eye out for that. The boop coming out from the side of Magic 8-Ball, not going to quite enable the Earth Shatter from Ugo quite yet, but again, we're seeing the side of MetaMorphic get aggressive onto the point, and they're going to take it. There is no contest coming through from the side of Perfection.
And I kind of saw that coming. I mean, I didn't want to jinx it, like saying it, that C9 was incoming, but it definitely happened there because you keep trying to chase them the long way around the corner, so they will have that position to just do the frontline battle while they are on the points. And then you need to either send someone around or do something weird in another way in order to cap that, like to defend that objective, and they just couldn't. They just couldn't get there because they didn't have the position, and they gave that position up by rotating the way they did, and then couldn't really rotate back onto the point. So that's a little bit of a problem for Perfection there, but also very, very well recognized from MetaMorphic that yes, they might be chased and they might be in a disadvantage ultimate wise or something else, but at least we get the positional advantage. So if we just hold them off for long enough, we'll cap a tick because that's all we need. So that's it's a small win conditions. It's always recognizing your win condition and using it to your advantage. That's like the biggest thing. Paris once again gonna be banned. Welcome. It's there.
Yeah, I mean it's not there. We're not going to be seeing it tonight.
Yeah. I mean it's in the ban pool. That's what it is.
Yeah. It's benched. It's in the exile lane.
Ban.
But what we will be seeing gonna be a little bit of Lijiang Tower, and also while I have a moment, what I want to be hearing chat right now is your votes going off in the MVP poll right now. Overwatch Watchers Brawl MVP poll down in the bottom hand side of the Twitch chat. For those of you on other streaming services, no worries, just maybe pop into Twitch for a few seconds. Not that we don't want to show you guys any love, we just don't have anything set up for the other services yet. So let us know you guys think is the top dog of this game so far. May want to wait a few games, you know, we still got a little bit of action ahead of us, at least 2 maps. But that being said, show us who you think deserves that vote ahead of time. And now, man of class, get back onto the map that I so rudely cut you off about.
Yeah, so starting on Lijiang. Lucius being saved, Mercy's being banned, Metamorphic starting on the defense once again. So yeah, nothing really changing aside from Mercy not being available. And Mercy not being available on a map like Lijiang is pretty impactful. I mean, a lot of the times when you want to run more DPS style compositions, you kind of need the Mercy. Mm-hmm. Need is a word I don't often like to use because there's different options in Overwatch, obviously. But Mercy is a very strong hero when it comes to running DPS compositions because of her flexibility in the in her positioning. That's mostly it. So she can pocket heroes very well and then switch between the heroes she pockets very well as well without putting herself in danger because she's so mobile and she can fly around every 2 seconds, I think it is. I don't even know what the Guardian Angel cooldown is because it's virtually not there. So yeah, Mercy not being there will open up more possibilities for non-multi-DPS compositions, but on the other hand, on Gardens, teams just like to run it sometimes. Like they just still like to go for these compositions regardless, and they'll just use different supports like Ana's, maybe Moira's, maybe just something else, maybe a Baptiste, who knows. But it's just not the same without a Mercy. That's all I'm really getting at.
You can't crush my dreams, man of class. I'm still going to be hoping for that Pharah. Even though I know the pharmacy is not going to be in effect, I'm still going to be rooting for the Rocket Princess herself.
I mean, they are separate heroes, contrary to popular belief. You know, you don't have to pick a Mercy when you have a Pharah. You can run them independently. But will we be seeing something interesting? Because I see Baptiste. No, never mind. They debated us. It's going to be the same mirror, the 3-3 with the Zenyatta. Nothing fancy over here. It's just but this is not a matchup we see all that often. There's almost always a team that goes with a little bit of a different style here.
Yeah, Perfection taking an interesting route, going to be taking that high ground out of the spawn. However, it will not get them to the center area faster. They're going to have to be really pushing into this choke. PG1 diving in aggressively to try to build that space, going to get punished because of it. And now it's not looking like Perfection are going to be able to take possession of this room here. They really needed that if they wanted to get first cap. However, going to be seeing a lot of damage, a little bit of damage rather, going onto the side of Perfection. No kills coming out the back of it besides the one onto PG1, but with that, it's going to be first capped by Metamorphic.
Yeah, they just decided to back up, not give give over a full fight loss. And I do have to say, Mixie charged up almost to their Transcendence, so that could be a very big advantage that they can use in this fight.
Yeah, certainly we're going to be seeing, if it comes into effect here shortly, we're going to be seeing both teams play on the side of this pillar. However, it is in possession of MetaMorphic. They are going to be building that ult charge. And dangerously low, Agadogo getting the Transcendence healing, going to be brought up, saved from the brink of death. And now we're seeing Agadogo get a massive Earth Shatter. Four members of the opposing team getting knocked down. Transcendence going to be keeping them alive. Marky Mark not finding too much. Big Brain going to be taken out, however. Because of that Earth Shatter, Marky Mark then going to be returned in exchange. A grab coming out from Poseidon to clean up will probably be there onto the side of MetaMorphic. However, it's not going too quickly. We're going to be seeing the Diva Bomb come out from PG1, taking down 2. As I say that, the support's going to be taken down. This is really going to enable the side of Perfection to really perhaps get some kill swaps going through here. Poseidon taking down Agadogo, though, that's not what they needed. The kills are going back and forth, and it's still looking so good on the time clock for MetaMorphic. They are building up a ton of charge, and it looks like they're going to hold it for the time being. And yeah, it's going to be a pullback from the side of Perfection.
And that was the main problem, is that they had lost their own supports on the side of Perfection before they got the other 2 out. So they were less healthy on Agadogo and Big Brain and PG1. And they needed that health in order to sustain and do more damage, and they just couldn't. They needed to keep the shield up, and then Agadogo went down. So yeah, they did get the kills, but you know, they had to use an ult for it, and they didn't win the fight. And now they're gonna have some ultimates left though for this one.
Yeah, they're gonna have to get aggressive though. There's only 10 seconds left to get onto the point. The Diva Bomb coming out, Transcendence coming out. They might be locked down off point. No, it doesn't look like that's quite going to be the case. Mixie going to be making a dive onto point with that Transcendence just to kind of open the way for their team. Agadogo getting stunned by the shield bash coming out from Gatos. That means that there will be no shielding, but it's not going to be punished too much. The charge coming in from Agadogo not going to be capitalized upon. In fact, will be punished. Marky Mark taking the kill into their own hands. And right now we're seeing the kills go back and forth. Magic Mateball going to be dropping that sound barrier, keeping up the remaining 5 players, at least for the time being. PG1 going to be dropping that bomb, not netting anything, and in return they're going to be getting sucked into a grab from Poseidon, who will do the cleanup on this end. And with that, it's going to be going to MetaMorphic.
Yeah, and I mean, I hear a lot of people asking me, and just in chats and everything sometimes, that yes, yeah, these 2 teams have the exact same heroes, they do the exact same thing. How is it that one of those teams just does better than the other, which MetaMorphic was doing right there? And it's very small things. It's things that you don't always notice, and it's a lot of small things that are stacked on top of each other. So it's, when do you use your Zarya bubbles? On which target do you use your Zarya bubbles? When do you use your big what's it called, the armor pack that she throws?
Repair pack,
yeah. So repair pack, that's it. And it's all these small things. And when does Zenyatta get a volley through? When does Zarya right click and left click? It's all these tiny things. And then you also have like the team rotations and these timings, and it's like when you count them together, it's never just one thing.
Yeah, it's usually capitalization on a one or several mistakes, but we're going to be seeing here this time. Once again, Perfection going to be attempting to take point presence first, and they will get it, but at the cost of PG1's mech. That's going to be rather brutal of a loss. Nothing to prevent those projectiles from coming through. Then Agadogo going to be dropped in turn. A lot of tanks dropping for the side of Perfection, meaning that they won't have a lot of staying power, and with that, the rest of their team will fall to the force of MetaMorphic.
Yeah, so this fight, you know, we just talking about all the small factors. There were 2 factors that were really important about it, which were rotation and resource management. And the big deal about it is that Perfection chose to take the better rotation positionally, which they sort of failed to do on Icon Vault when they were defending. But then they didn't take the opportunity to do as much damage as possible in the interim. And that's why you see, for instance, Poseidon and Marky Mark being so far ahead in their ult charge, because they didn't have to use the shield and rather were doing damage, so making better use of their cooldowns in order to eventually win that fight. Their shield lasted longer, their damage output was higher, and that just means that Agadogo will go down sooner than Marky Mark.
Yeah, speaking of resource usage, we're going to be seeing a lot come out in terms of the ults, the grab, the transcendence, the rally. Gatos getting the first kill onto Big Brain. That is not what Perfection wanted to see early on. Looks like they're going to be trying to pull back as Agadogo going to be turning around and just doing a straight charge away. Going to still be getting cleaned up for their efforts, but it looks like a little bit of the team Perfection going to be getting away safely.
Yeah, using 2 ultimates, selling 4 in the bank is exactly what you want to be seeing here for MetaMorphic. Just nice ult rotations, keeping it clean, not overusing anything. They will have to walk into a few of the Perfection side though.
Yeah, that's absolutely going to be the case here. And we're seeing the Diva Bomb going early from PG1, doesn't fetch quite anything. As the sound barrier is going to come out from both sides, Magic Maple are going to be shielding up their entire team. The Earth Shatter coming out, not quite landing anything. However, Marky Mark going to be returning, landing a double shatter onto Nick and Big Brain. Agadogo going to be taking down the pin onto Marky Mark, and the grab coming out from the side of Poseidon, netting 3. The Transcendence going to be coming out from Potion, just keeping the rest of their team alive. Agadogo might be one of the last few to fall alongside Magic Maypal and PG1, who gets demeched and dismantled onto the point.
And then you're wondering, so what went wrong this fight? Well, they did a very good job at splitting up. I mean, both teams were splitting up, really. But Metamorphic split up in the right capacity because they knew who could be fighting who. And Poseidon being so close to their grab, there was no trance yet on the side of Perfection. So this happens here, and they split up the right people to the right parts of the fight. So while there's stuff going on the point in the garden, there's also still a grab happening at other places, and JD using the boosters at the right time, using the resource and positioning to get the damage into the right places. And there you see it. They fight as a unit. So Gatos gets 100% kill participation here, which is, I'm not gonna tell you, not gonna lie. If you're involved in every single kill as a brigade, that's a pretty huge thing. You don't often see that happening.
Yeah, usually we see numbers somewhere around the 50-60% when those cards are online, but to see that 100%
I mean, 80
really
is even quite frequent, especially in the Ghost v Goats matchup, because everything happens so close together. But 100%, I don't think I've ever seen that before. So that's that really shows you how well they gel, like in that little corridor together. Hanamura is now also banned, so we won't see Paris, won't see Hanamura. But we could be going to our final map already, Waltham. So it's been a quick series so far.
Yeah, it definitely has. It's kind of the last chance for Perfection to really get things and turn them around if they want to take away this win. Since this is the potential to be our last game, don't forget to throw your votes into the MVP poll. That is all I will say about that. But Perfection now has the opportunity to pick the next map. Do you think there's one that they can pick that would kind of edge their favor a little bit here, Man Class?
I mean, not necessarily specific map. They cannot, and I know they cannot go to Ilios, because Ilios is also a control map, but we cannot have the same map, a map of the same map type like in a row. So we're gonna have to see something else than Ilios. The only reason why I would think they want to go for Ilios is the same thing that I kind of want to argue for them as well. Is you gotta try something else in this 3-3 matchup, because it's not working, and teams have been criticized for sticking on it, like on the 3-3 matchup, the mirror matchup, when they just seem to be like losing. So they should really switch to something else. That's not always the case, but it does seem in this case that Metamorphic does have the upper hand when it comes to that 3-3 matchup. Whether it's either recognizing rotations, recognizing mistakes, or just not making mistakes, Metamorphic is just on top of the situation. And I really think Perfection would do good to maybe try something else out. So curious to see where they're gonna go. I'm curious to see what they're gonna do with the map that they go to, because yeah, I mean, you can have some pocket maps, but if the pocket map pick that you're gonna go for is also just a pure 3-3 map that you play there, then you could be in a bit more trouble. And then go to Junkertown might be a good solution to that. So they might be playing something else here than we've been seeing them do, which has been mostly a 3-3 matchup.
Yeah, and I mean, we talked about it last time, how in Junkertown there's always that potential where, teams can kind of heavily lean on that pirate ship, and then they'll lock in the Orisa, they'll save the Orisa, and then just to have the Bastion banned or something along those lines. Or they'll double feint it, where, they protect the Orisa, the team will ban the Bastion. They weren't planning on running the Bastion at all. So it kind of does come back to those mind games we were talking about. But it looks
Lucio
like
is saved. So there's still the opportunity, but now the curiosity for me is, will Perfection ban something? Will they ban something that could have worked in their favor? So if they ban the Bastion or the Orisa now, then they kind of have to go for something that is not a pirate ship, or is a different style of pirate ship, and then they eventually usually just end up on 3-3s a lot of the time. So I would like them to not see them do that, and rather ban something that will work better in their favor if they want to use a different comp than 3-3. And if they ban the Zarya, which they are doing, that is an interesting ban. The Zarya ban we don't see come out often, but it does feel like Poseidon is doing a ridiculous amount of damage on that Zarya. Always has that grab up very early, and especially compared to me Bibbrain on the other side. So yeah, I don't know what's going to happen on this map. Junkertown is one of those maps where I always say anything can happen. But that Zarya ban is actually a very interesting one, and it could very well work out in their favor.
Yeah, I'm definitely thinking so. And you know, usually when I see a team ban that Zarya, it's a team that is very proficient at the DPS comps, trying to cripple something along the lines of a triple comp. But to see it here, where it's the triple isn't as heavily leaned on, it's really curious. I'm really excited. We are just waiting, it seems, for one of the players to get back from a bio break. So hang in there with us,
I'm
folks.
curious. So the thing is, I'm curious about what they're going to do, because obviously they're counting on some parts of the map still being 3-3 heavy, which is very normal. I mean, that's something that happens most of the time. Either when you get to third or already when you get to second, 3-3 is going to be strong there in a lot of cases. So the fact that Zarya is out means that 3-3 will either have to have a different hero in there, like either maybe a Roadhog or a Hammond or any other tank, or just, you know, not a Zarya and just sub in a DPS, maybe a Mei, maybe I don't know, maybe a Sombra, and then you still have the D.Va. But that's a very different matchup that you normally see. Because when you normally swap out something in GOATS to go to like an extra DPS, maybe a Sombra, maybe a Mei, you swap out the D.Va. So either they'll still have the D.Va in there and they'll swap in another DPS, or they'll do something completely different and go for a 2-2-2. And whether that's dive or heavy, that's also, you know, questionable, because if you go to 2-2-2 that isn't Rein Zarya, then your best options are usually Winston D.Va or Rotogarissa. So a lot of options here that the Zarya kind of opens up. And while Zarya is not 100% necessary for the GOATS matchup, because if you're on the GOATS mirror and there's no Zaryas on either side, you're not slower. The only thing is you have no bubbles and you have a little less damage. That's mostly what you're looking into. You have no grabs. But I don't know. It's an interesting ban, and I think Perfection might have been throwing MetaMorphic for a loop a little bit, because you just don't expect the Zarya to get banned. Most of the time it's maybe the Brig or the D.Va, but almost never the Zarya.
Well, it's interesting, right? Because, you know, historically we've seen, oh, well, the main tank can be replaced in triple. Sometimes you'll run a Winston. Well,
yeah, or
you know,
maybe for Wrecking Ball, eh? If you're Hunter.
Yeah, absolutely. And you can also replace, well, you know, your flex support. You can have a Zen, an Ana, a Moira, you know, whatever the flavor is. And you know, we've kind of seen Baptiste come out and take the place of Brig. You know, we'll see Maze on certain niche maps come out and take the places of Divas. But really, Lucio and Zarya are kind of those that don't get swapped out much at all, at least as far as memory serves.
Lucio usually gets saved, because if you don't have Lucio, you're just sitting ducks. You can't move anywhere because you're just too slow and you're 3-3. Zarya, I mean, the main thing about Zarya is that her bubbles are obviously able to save someone for at least 200 damage, or a certain amount of time. It's not that long, but still. Which works very well against Roadhogs together with D.Va, because D.Va can obviously save someone from hook follow-up, but Zarya can outright just block the damage. It's just not there, and then she gets stronger because of that as well. So we might very well see a Roadhog come out because of that reason, which it does look like the defenders want to do. They're going to go for this double sniper setup. It's a 2-2-2, so double sniper, double healer, double tank. Rotogarissa, Hanzo, Widow, and then a Zenyatta and Mercy. It's a pretty well-known comp on this map. I think this is the one, especially on point A, where you can definitely run that. On the attack, they're looking to go for something similar, but they're going to run the triple tank, so they don't run the Zenyatta. Instead, they run the D.Va on JD.
Yeah, and that's quite interesting. We're going to have to see how it plays in here. You're going to see the Team Perfection kind of nestling in behind this shield at a little bit more of a peculiar angle than we might be seeing. However, Agodogo getting brought down dangerously low. I'm going to land the headshot and then the follow-up SMG kills onto Poseidon. That is going to be crucial for taking out that Widow. And now we're going to be seeing the rotation come in just a little bit from Perfection. really working to get that shield break in. And in the meantime, Mixie going to be brought back up by Magic Mate Ball. But now Marky Mark taking out Agodogo. That's going to be very crucial here as we now see the offense get a little bit more aggressive. They're going to start pushing up. The kills are going a little bit in their favor, but the hook coming out onto JD might be the turnaround. It's going to cause the D.Va to be a little bit more wary, perhaps. Roadhog's having a little bit of a brawl in this situation, but Mixie going to be cleaning up Potion mid-breather. How rude. Doesn't even get to catch their breath. Noctis getting knocked back by the whole hog coming out from PG1, but it's pretty much just been Marky Mark pushing the cart for free because of this fight going on in this side building. Once again, PG1 getting the hook onto JD. And the Mercy going to be popping Valk on the side of Noctis, the first ult we're seeing, if I'm remembering correctly. Oh, nope, besides the whole hog, that is. And Marky Mark still holding this very peculiar position, Poseidon wrapping around the back, trying to get those headshots. And right now, the fight's looking a little bit scattered. The Hogs both kind of separated from their teams a little bit. Me, Big Brain landing the big shot onto Noctis. That is going to be very crucial. We're seeing Mixie kind of pop that Transcendence rock right in front of the opposing tanks. And right now, it's not looking like Perfection willing to give up this point just so quickly. And yeah, it looks like it might be a hold for the time being from MetaMorphic.
Yeah, they couldn't reunite with Marky Mark there on that weird flank position behind the stacked cars. That was a little bit of a problem for them. But before that even, I mean, Noctis using the Valkyrie immediately getting shot down by Me Big Brain. That's a big pick.
We're going to be calling for a pause here soon.
Yeah, I mean, let's see if that comes out. I think it will. Obviously, we're not mid-fight, so no one's going to be mad. But yeah, the main thing that was really happening was that shield dance, right? So they managed to get Marky Mark into that position, but the rest of the team, you could never really reunite. So you really saw Perfection like choosing how are we going to position ourselves between them without getting pincered by them. And obviously, yes, Orisa can put out a lot of damage, but both Orisa and Mercy were behind those cars, which means the other part of the team has no healing. So you can just keep pressuring the other part of the team without getting shot yourself, just behind the shield, just poke away, that's fine. And then eventually they're going to have to make some sort of move because you're fine where you are. You're grouped up as a team. You have the angles. You just wait for them to peek. And they have no shield, no healer. Because the shield and the healer were behind the cars. And yeah, they didn't have to push on anything. Because I think when Perfection would have started to push on either of them, that's when they put themselves in the position to be pincered or to be surrounded or to be at least to make a wrong move. And by just standing there, they're at least not making mistakes. So maybe nothing happens, but they're on the defense. They don't need anything to happen. They just need the clock to run down. So everything they did was just about waiting it out. And if they make a wrong move, we punish them for it. It's exactly what happened. So I think that's very nicely done from them. And that whole hawk really made the difference there because it all started by PG1 getting that whole hawk, pushing Noctis all the way there to where Marky Mark was, and Marky Mark with it actually. So that's where the team split up, and that's when that whole situation started happening.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, to go back to what you said just a few moments ago, when you are on defense and you make the attacking team just have to kind of stop and even just waiting for a cooldown where you buy those few seconds of, all right, well, the hog hook's offline, so we'll wait 4 seconds. That's still time you're buying off the clock. That's incredibly valuable. You're winning if you're the defense and nobody's doing anything. Yeah.
And like I said, that's what happened there. So
yeah, exactly.
just nice decision making and just in general a nice defense so far. There's going to be about 2 minutes left for the attackers, so we'll see how far along they get, what's happening. I'm not entirely sure why we had a break going on, why we still have one going on, but it'll clear up at some point. At some point we'll just be like, yeah, we're going to continue, and then we will. But right now we're just waiting. You can look a little bit at the ult situation. Obviously, we have 4 up for the defense. The support ults will not be there, but neither will they be for the offense. And on the side of MetaMorphic, they really don't have that much to work with right now. They do have the whole hog and the dragon strike, and they're close to the self-destruct. So it's like they have nothing, but it's not quite the same as they have on the defense.
Yeah, and it's probably a little late to the fact. But for those of you who are just now catching it, MetaMorphic is, well, we had the teams swap side, meaning MetaMorphic now going to be on the red side, the attackers, Perfection in the blue. So definitely don't get tripped up by that. But yeah, this ult economy is looking, I don't want to say extremely favorable for Perfection, but just a little
It's
bit.
not that bad. I mean, there's definitely some things to work with on the attack as well. But especially things like the infra sight and the dragon strike could combine very well next to each other. They have the whole hog combined with a supercharger maybe. So there's definitely a lot of potential for maybe some small combos to really knock it out of the park and just win that fight. But a good self-destruct from JD could still turn the tides, especially with competitions that aren't as mobile in such an open space.
Yeah, absolutely. And it looks like the game is going to be resuming. We're going to be getting right back into it. A little bit of a lull here. Looks like nobody dropped, meaning no ult charge given up. Quite fortunate for both sides. And right now it's just waiting for the teams to kind of move up. Marky Mark going to be taking that front head point as we usually see with the main tank. The Dragon's going to be coming out from Gatos, and in return coming out from Nick. However, the snipers for the side of Perfection going to be getting a little bit more purchase with those. However, we're still seeing the cart get pushed just a little bit by Metamorphic here, and Noctis going in to save their tank, but going to be backing out in quick fashion. Big Brain taking down JD. It's going to be expensive as the offense is now going to be retreating just a little bit.
Yeah, it's all about which resources you use, but sometimes, your snipers just win the duels, and in that case, you're just up 2, and it's 2 important picks. Yes, they got Magic 8 Ball, which is big, because Magic 8 Ball will be a little bit behind on that Valkyrie charge, but they still got the Transcendence, so they do have a lot of healing as long as Mixie manages to stay alive.
Ooh, and Big Brain going to be taking down Poseidon, and off the back of that, you're going to be seeing Noctis pop that Valk, perhaps trying to get the res. In fact, are going to be getting the res. The Diva Bomb coming out from JD, not landing on anything. Going to be a nice barrier dance from the side of Ugodogo. And because of that, PG1 going to be pushing up, using that whole hog, taking down Mark E. Mart. Meaning that once again, the kill's going a little bit in favor of the side of Perfection. Not too much, but it's going to be enough to repel the offense for one more push.
Yeah, and it's really about which kills do you get. Like, if Noctis falls, that's such a big pick. If Marky Mark falls, that's such a big pick. Whereas on the defense, they have a little bit of more of environment to work with. They have some more healing to work with. But yeah, JD tried something there.
Yeah, we're going to be seeing Marky Mark taking out Ugodogo. And that might be what they needed here. PG1 getting healed up by the Mercy played by a Magic 8 Ball who did pop that Valk. Gato's going to be taking down Mixie, and the hook coming out from Potion to stop the res from Magic 8 Ball. That is crucial. PG1 going to be dropping it, and just in time, we're going to be seeing Metamorphic get the first point.
Yeah, they'll eventually get it, and that pick on Ugodogo is just so big. I mean, if that doesn't come through, that's a very different fight, and yeah, you need that Orisa sort of. I mean, it's not the biggest deal, like I said, with the environment, but they also couldn't get the sniper sight lines back up. They were holding very far backward, and it's a nice capitalization on that for the attack. And the attackers are now going to be switching over to this Somber Goat style, so not using the Zarya, because obviously they can't. But they still have the Diva in there, so they choose to go over the DPS route. Ocean will be on the Moira though.
Yeah, we're going to be seeing Big Brain have those infra sites as well. Might not be able to find a whole lot of purchase, as we can see. They're just kind of crouched up top, waiting to get those shots. We can see Gatos using that shield cover to kind of peek around the corner. The shield from Marky Mark getting brought dangerously low. That is a precarious position to be in if you're on the defense trying to avoid a whole lot of damage. We're seeing the wraparound come in now from Metamorphic. However, that might not have been the best option, as PG1 going to be popping that whole hog into that confined space. Nobody going to be dropping from it until Potion gets hooked, pulled, and shot in the face by PG1. It's going to be crucial that Moira dropping denies a lot of healing on the side of Metamorphic. They need to play very carefully here. But they see Big Brain, and it looks like it's going to be JD trying to focus down that Widow. Not going to be happening. But right now...
They will get it. They will get a Widow kill finally. But a big problem what they're having right now is that Poseidon has been on this Sombra for about a minute, and it's only up to 30% ult charge, not even. So that's quite a big deal if they still want to get that up, because it's only a minute left, not even 50 seconds.
Yeah, and Perfection has this high ground advantage now. They're going to be taking it, using that Orisa to just kind of rain down a little bit of extra damage. Poseidon taking down Nick, that is what they needed. We need to see that Sombra get some purchase here. Magic 8 Ball going to be bringing them back up, and it's a good thing because Nick going to be firing out those dragons. Not going to quite be finding any kills because of it. We're going to be seeing Ugodogo try to get back on the cart. Nick taking down Poseidon now as a exchange for the prior life here. We're going to be seeing the cart try to be contested, but it doesn't look like it's going to be too easy for Perfection here. They're having to chase after the cart in a weird exchange of sides here. The Transcendence coming out, but the Diva Bomb might do a little bit of damage. Going to be taking down Nick. That might be crucial here moving forward. PG1 then going to be followed up in quick order. And the bold res coming through from Magic 8 Ball not going to be landing into effect. And that is going to be the side of Metamorphic taking second point as well.
Poseidon only now getting up to that EMP, so they could have won that fight without like fight against the EMP. Agodogo is going to be chased back into spawn. Will actually be taken down even later. And I feel this is the point where they're gonna also feel that they need to swap off. But they're actually gonna go for this Hanzo Junkrat setup potentially with the dive. So it's gonna be Winston D.Va, which is always a nice defense. And having this Junkrat, this Hanzo, could be proving very annoying for Poseidon in a lot of situations, because these heroes are not necessarily that bothered by being hacked.
Yeah, we're going to be seeing a lot of spam potential come through here as well. We're going to be seeing JD try to dive up towards Agadogo, and PG1, however, does not look like they will be too bothered by that, as they have a lot of their team on reinforcements. Agadogo going to be getting hacked, meaning no jump's going to be coming in from that Winston, but it's going to be Marky Mark just still pushing the cart, nobody dropping down to the bottom to really contest. Agadogo going to be doing a little bit, as I say that, to contribute to the stall. But with that being said, the EMP coming out, it's going to be landing onto all 6 members. Mixie getting cleaned up almost immediately after it. No shields means no health for the Zenyatta. We're going to be seeing Magic 8 Ball bring them back up. But the Dragon's coming across, not going to be finding anything, and it really needs to be some kills coming through from Perfection here. The Riptire coming out, this might be the opening. Me, Big Brain, going to be taking down too. JD and Potion no longer going to be in here, as the D.Va did get killed out of mech. That is crucial. Marky Mark trying to hold out with that shield, taking a wild charge, not going to be landing anything. Mixie cleaning up off the back of it, and it needs to be played very carefully from the defense right now. Perfection has to start getting more kills, has to clean up here. The D.Va bomb coming out from PG1, not going to be landing on anything, but we're seeing the Tracer now come out from JD just as a little bit of stall, just to get to point a little bit quicker. And another hack coming out. PG1, Nick, and Agadogo going to get brought down. However, a lot of healing from Mixie on that Moira has the potential here. They need to not leave point, or else they're going to let it get capped. And Nick going to be taking down Poseidon. That is very good, but just the start here for the side of the defense. The Earthshatter coming down, and it's going to be enough. Mixie, Nick getting cleaned up allows for the cap by the side of Metamorphic.
And once again, I mean, you would think that if Potion and if they're breaking the Moira go down because of the Riptire, you're definitely in a good position. But they weren't really able to get the cleanup potential. Like the cleanup just didn't really come through, even though they had the spawn and the numbers advantage at that point. And then they just come back with continuously using this Reinhardt with so much damage output, and they weren't able to pull it back. And that's I mean, you see it happen sometimes. It still was pushed in overtime, but the fact that they got all the way to that last point, that must be a little bit frustrating for Perfection. Nonetheless, they do have a good opportunity to do a little bit better themselves. They were showing very well on that Orisa Hog composition, so maybe on their attack, if they run that, they could get a lot further.
Yeah, we can't forget that Perfection, prior to that last point, including that last point, every time that Team Metamorphic capped, it was in overtime. So yeah, they're definitely making Metamorphic sweat a little bit for their win here if they're looking to get it. And really, you can't be feeling too down on yourself if you're Perfection. You have to remember that, you know, you're showing the weakness.
Once again, Poseidon showing up so big. I mean, he got 2 AMPs in that last fight. That definitely led to them being able to win there. And Marky Mark didn't actually get a lot of value from the first shatter, but the second one was so good, because the first one was actually blocked. They tried to shatter Agadogo coming in on that Winston, but then he just put his bubble down at the correct time, so he didn't get shattered. I think he still went down straight afterwards, but it's still an ultimate they maybe could have used a bit quicker. And then they're going to try to hold with this 3-2-1 composition, using Potion on the Ana once again, Poseidon on the Sombra, against a potential pirate ship. So this could be very damaging.
Yeah, and we're going to be seeing the aggressive hold come out from the side of Metamorphic, which is really what you need against these Bastion comps. PG1 taking down Marky Mark, but me, Big Brain, traded out. Both Divas getting a kill here, but the D.Va from the defender side going to be getting de-mech'd here. Potion keeping their brig up for the time being, but get brought dangerously low themselves. Right now, the kills are looking back and forth. The Big Brain taking down Noctis. That means a lot of position and rotation not going to be available to the defending side here. That might be the opportunity that the attackers need here. Perfection really just trying to get onto point and try to get bolstered down. The Bastion going to be getting set up. Me, Big Brain, going to be set up right in front of that amplification field from this Baptiste coming through here. Mixie getting some absolute healing and ult charge coming through. Me, Big Brain, now going to be plying through the different defenders as they're going to start getting the cart moving.
In my brain, I always like when I see that happening, when the Bastion's set up there and they have the shield in front of it, they have this application matrix and so the vitality field comes out. I always in my head, I always hear this big Spartan voice is yelling, hold, like don't get up, because if you get up, you die. So hold, just keep firing. You'll get them. It feels like that Matrix scene, with all the robots coming in on you. But yeah, they're gonna go on the next one, and this is exactly what the bunker's gonna be. A nice EMP.
Yeah, very nice EMP. The immortality field's still going to be coming out. However, it looks like it wasn't capitalized upon by the Team Perfection. They might be wanting that one back. The Nano Boost going to be going on to Marky Mark just to perhaps clean up a little bit better. The tank form going to be coming out from me, Big Brain. Going to be blasting mostly into the shield of Marky Mark, not finding too much here. And that's going to be costly, but they might not be too bothered by it because they may be switching off this Bastion. PG1 taking a quick dive off of a long cliff. And with that, it's just going to be clean up here from the side of MetaMorphic.
And while I was shooting at that shield, I just saw Potion on the left. Because if he would rotate it 90 degrees to the left, you would probably seen the Ana and just finish that kill off. And that's such a huge pick to just run back into. They're going to try to run still the Arista because they got the Supercharger, still the Baptiste because they got the Amplification Matrix. And they do actually stack. So you can they don't stack, what's it called? Linearly. So yeah, so they don't multiply, so it's not double and then 30% double, so not like was it 260% at that point. It's cumulative, so it's a bit different, but it's still extra damage, so who's gonna complain about that?
Yeah, absolutely. And now we're going to be seeing Nick take to the sky with this Pharah. I like it, but as soon as I say that, they're going to be EMP coming out, then further hacks once again by Poseidon. A big sound barrier coming out from Noctis, going to be keeping a lot of their team alive. However, the same cannot be said for Perfection, as they're going to get cleaned here, with the exception of PG1, who's going to take a little bit longer, and another jump up.
Yeah, now they're switching up to something else. I think it's going to be the full triple DPS. Going over with the Wrecking Ball and the Sombra. Poseidon not ready with an EMP again, so they will be a little bit safe. It's only actually the Nano Boost and the Self-Destruct, so they are relatively safe, at least this fight. OWB6 will have to be a little bit careful not to be hacked up, which Poseidon is definitely going to be looking for. But now PG1 is a thorn in the side of MetaMorphic, so this could eventually get to the point. Only one last fight, though. This is going to have to do it for them.
Yeah, PG1 getting the hack onto JD. They're going to know that that Diva has struck, and it's going to be used immediately. Because of that Magic 8 Ball getting taken down, that is a very crucial loss, meaning that there's going to be a lot less healing on the field. And Mixie getting brought dangerously low needs to be very careful. Me, Big Brain, going to be firing those dragons across the cart, just trying to get some damage, some kills perhaps to rain through. Not going to be working, as the hand by OWB6 going to be trying to just jostle anything loose that they can. Me, Big Brain, going to be taking down Poseidon. That's going to be one Zarya that now OWB6 is not going to have to worry about. Me, Big Brain, then following up by taking down Potion. And right now, it is still looking pretty solid from the side of MetaMorphic in this hold. Got those taking down PG1. Going to only be helping that cause. The Rocket Barrage from Nick going to be taking down one in exchange for their own life. JD taking down that Pharah in kind. The hack trying to come out from Poseidon, but OWB6 going to be doing their part to keep that Sombra pressure and unable to hack because of the damage coming through. And it looks like goodness, Perfection's finally get this card moving and get the first point.
And one very big thing that happened in that fight is Nick. Yes, so Magic 8 Ball got taken out by the Self-Destruct. Meanwhile, Nick got into enemy territory and completely duked out JD and Poseidon alike. Then came back with that barrage. And Noctis was so close to the sound barrier that plus an EMP that was almost there for Poseidon could have been so big in sustaining that fight to maybe even have a full hold there. So nicely done from Nick. Very big plays being made on that Pharah. And me, Big Brain popping off, that definitely didn't hurt. Nice EMP.
Yeah, the Minefield EMP combo gonna be coming out. Doesn't look like it's gonna net quite anybody, despite 4 or 5 members getting hacked. They're still going to be keeping 3 members onto the cart. And right now, it's just looking like a little bit more damage coming in from the DPS for Perfection, just trying to get there. They're going to get to the second point pretty quickly.
I mean, you don't necessarily get amazing value from the EMP, but you get the Diva, which is the main way to deal with all the DPS, and you get the Ana, the main source of healing. But now the counter EP comes in, and so many are hacked.
Yeah, it's a lot of hacks going through. Mixie and Magic 8 Ball both getting focused down. That's going to be a lot of healing gone once again, getting so low. Nick also falling dangerously low. but Ugadogo trying their best just to stall out. Don't know if they necessarily need to, since they have a lot of time to reset.
Ooh,
But
another big pick and potion.
yeah, it's gonna be
That's a late pick. I mean, they have a little bit of a spawn advantage on the defense here, right? But if they can get in quick, which DPS competition definitely can, then that pick on potion could be really big, because they could just get in before the healing really gets there. Maybe even split potion off from the team a little bit. So Nick almost there with a barrage. Maybe Brainer as a dragon. They have a nano coming up. They have a lot of ultimates. They make this fight go long enough, they will be able to have an overwhelming advantage.
Yeah, absolutely, and we're going to be seeing Gatos pop that rally, giving their entire team just a little bit of armor. PG1, the only one on the field taking a significant amount of damage. And JD getting the eat onto me, Big Brain's Dragon Arrows. That is going to be crucial. Not a lot of damage going to be coming through from that Hanzo in terms of ult. The hack going to be going on to Ago. That's going to be crucial as well, meaning that Hammond can no longer bowl through enemies, can no longer escape, can't even ground pound, but as soon as I finish the sentence, going to be able to once again. And Ugadogo trying to just get onto cart, trying to just buy as much distance as possible. They need to get that cart moved to second point. PG1 getting taken down by Poseidon, and then the rocket barrage, but the Diva Bomb, Nick gonna get 2 in exchange for their own life from JD. And right now it is looking so crucial that some kills start to come through from Perfection. Doesn't look like it's gonna quite happen. Ugadogo getting hacked with those mines online, popping them, gonna be dropping them in time. But the kill's just not quite there. The EMP now coming out from PG1. Goodness, this game is going back and forth, but in the end, it looks like it's going to be favoring the side of MetaMorphic.
In that last fight, the one thing I was looking at, my eyes were constantly going left and right, was the ult charges of PG1 and Poseidon. Because whoever gets that EMP off in that fight, when both teams are still full force, that team's going to win. That's just how it works. And the fact that PG1 then just goes down just before he gets the EMP, because he was ahead in ult charge most of that fight, that's just a difference maker. And that's not necessarily a mistake from PG1. I think that was also like good capitalization from MetaMorphic seeing that happen. But that could have completely turned that fight around. It was just a little bit of a mistiming. Once again, it's these very small things. Even if it's not Ghosts, there's still a lot of small things going on. And it's all these things. It's me, Big Brain, just throwing the dragon a little bit to the right so it can get eaten. JD throwing the Matrix up at the right time, obviously, as well. The mines just not getting the same value because there's also an EMP left, and because they come out a little late. It's all these small things. It's just always all the small things. And the self-destruct was really nice as well from JD, so definitely making a few plays there in that last fight. There was just a lot. That's just what it is. There was just a lot. But yeah, nice of them for MetaMorphic, though. I mean, definitely kudos to them. Did a very good job at repelling whatever Perfection was throwing at them in that last map. Before that, it was just 3-3. Very clean play. But yeah, looking very nice. And it looks like we got Potion in here for MetaMorphic. So, Potion, welcome to the chat. Obviously, congratulations on that win. How are you? I think you're feeling pretty good right now about that.
Yep.
Nice and short. I like that. You've been playing a little bit more of Ana. We've asked this question before to other players. We always like to see maybe a different perspective in here. Are you thinking that Ana is a little bit nicer in the current meta right now, or is she gonna like make a little bit of a resurgence?
I personally hope so. She's by far my favorite hero, and I think she can have a big impact on the new comps where people are running Sombra over Diva. So I guess we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, what we got before, we got the answer that Zenyatta is generally speaking the better hero, but against certain comps, especially with DPS, and when you don't really know what they're going to run against you, Ana is usually more preferred because of the way your utility, where your healing and everything works. So I guess that makes sense. And she works well with Bunker, which might come back. We never know. Yeah, obviously you're not the Diva player, but do you feel that, because Diva's going to get a nerf soon, the Matrix is going to, the range is going to go down, and apparently visually it's going to change as well. Have you played a little bit on the PTR and worked against that as like an Ana player?
No, I personally haven't, but I am looking forward to the changes definitely as an Ana player. I think it'll make it a lot easier.
I mean, hey, it's going to make your life easier because you should be able to A, see where the defense matrix is a lot easier, and B, it's going to be less of it. So that's definitely nice. I mean, this didn't look like a particularly hard match for you. Were you at all phased by Perfection on Junkertown? Because before that, it looked relatively smooth sailing with the 3-3 matchups. But did you expect something weird to come out on Junkertown at all?
honestly, we didn't know what to expect for Junkertown. We haven't
Yeah.
experienced the Zarya ban before. We thought it was a little weird. But we have practiced with other comps, and mainly the first point, we weren't really affected. I don't think either teams were affected. It was just everything after that was different, and it was a little hard to get used to.
Yeah.
And I think it showed.
You did well. In the end, you just still completed the map, and you won it. So I guess it wasn't too bad, but it did look like you were a little phased by it. So that at least gives Perfection a little bit of hope. We can still play some mind games here and there. Other than that, there's not that much to say about the match. Like I said, it looked like a pretty clean win in the first 2 maps, and the last was just a little bit of weird, the Zarya ban. Have you been looking at what you're going to be facing up against next week already, or are you just not thinking that far ahead?
If I remember correctly, it's Boundless. Yes, Boundless.
Yeah.
We're gonna be preparing pretty hard for that one, definitely.
Yeah. Now Boundless looked very good in their match, so I guess that's all to say for. But then again, you look very good in this match, so I don't really know. Do you feel the power level of this tournament is a little bit different from the last one?
It's kind of hard to say just because it's only one game in.
The first 2 weeks, yeah.
But going against Boundless next week, I think, is gonna answer that question for us at least.
It may set the tone a little bit. I can imagine that.
Yes.
Well, with that said, I don't really have anything else. Maybe Waltham has some good questions because he's always on the point.
Actually, right now I don't have a whole lot. I guess just signing off. Before we go ahead and announce our MVP vote, Potion, I'll go ahead and give you the last opportunity. Is there anything you want to kind of say? Give any shout outs? Any comments you want to make while we have you on our chat here?
I guess I just want to say that I love my team. They're awesome, and so are the coaches and the staff. And GG's to the other team that we played. Perfection, you guys put up a good fight. It was a fun game.
Well, there you have it. I like the positive sportsmanship, the PMA I'm seeing come out of you, Potion. All right. Well, thank you very much for swinging by. And while I have you folks at home, we're going to be going ahead and announcing our MVP vote, voted by you guys on Twitch. That is going to be Gatos being the MVP, if I remember correctly, from the side of MetaMorphic.
Yeah, so you can congratulate your teammate with that one. Sorry it's not you, but gotta be nicer to the people next time apparently. Yeah, be active in Twitch chat and they might like you for it. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, just curry a little bit of that favor. But a major congratulations to Gatos for getting that MVP vote. As well, congratulations to MetaMorphic for taking this win. And we got a little special shout out as well. Thank you especially to JGibby OW for the Prime sub. We really appreciate that, helping our channel grow, get that kind of recognition. We always like seeing the support come through for the community. So it's greatly appreciated, my friends. A major hat tip to you. And with that, I think we are about ready to wrap it up here for tonight. For your casting entertainment, I have been Sir Waltham. You can catch me on Twitter or Twitch at Sir Waltham.
Yeah, me you can find a man of class OW. It's pretty easy. It's just man of class, double S obviously, and just OW behind it because that's what Overwatch is. Just find me there. Any fun stuff I do, I post on Twitter. So yeah, hit me up. And I think that's gonna be it for us tonight, Sir Waltham.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you guys for tuning in. We hope to see you next time. But until then, everybody take care and stay safe out there.